Hey everybody, it's Brickwaffle again, and we are back in our creative world in space today because we are going to work on another capital vessel. So we have the brick wagon, or whatever we call this one now, down here, and we've got the little waffle that we made a while back that was mostly just for fun and games to get us over to the new planet. And today I want to start working on something that's a little bit different than both of those. I want to start working on a capital vessel that's more or less just a space station. And the reason I want to make it a capital vessel instead of a base is because that way we could move it if we needed to, and we could even warp it between planets if we decide we want to go somewhere else. That's not the right key. There we go, that's the right menu. So we're going to start with a capital vessel starter, no surprise, and we're going to pop that thing down right there. Great. So now what we want to do, I want to try a couple of things. I want to shift right click that, nothing happens. So you can't break that. I know somebody said you could shift right click to remove blocks, but that does not seem to work in creative mode, unfortunately. So I am going to have to get the multi-tool back as well. Let's see, multi-tool, tier 2, and let's just go ahead and grab a bunch of charges for it as well, because we're going to need a lot of that. So let's zap that guy away, and I think we're going to leave this just where it is, because that gives us an indicator for the ship. Now a couple of things I want to play with. Let's see if we can get the symmetry planes to work. XY symmetry plane? I have not been able to get the symmetry planes to work on capital vessels since the last upgrade. Really unfortunate, because that really helps a lot. Try XZ, make sure none of them are showing up. I wonder if I have to have the blocks in my hand first. Let's try capital vessel only, and let's do hardened steel, and let's try it this way. If I have that on, XY, nope, I can't get any of those things to work. That's really unfortunate. That was a huge time saver with capital vessels. Let's just double check it's not actually placing them symmetrically anywhere, right? No, it's sure not. That's a real disappointment. I really wish that would work. I don't know why that isn't going to work for me. That's a big problem. But yeah, we're going to leave that as no for now, and we're going to go the other way. So I can't get any of my shortcuts to work. So the shift right click isn't removing things. The symmetry plane isn't working. I'm assuming that's a bug because it's alpha, but we'll see how that goes. And I know this is looking a little bit dark. Maybe what I should do first is build a separate little lighting rig that we can move around. Let's actually do that, and I'll be right back in just a second. Alright, that's much better. Now we can see this in a lot better light. So I just downloaded a little light vessel off of the workshop. I believe it's been produced by Alchilion. Apologies if I got your name wrong, but it's exactly what I wanted. It's just a thruster with a bunch of lights, and we can move that around. So I think we're going to take the same approach as we did before, in terms of like, let's build out all the rooms and then figure out what we need to do from there. So we're just going to extend this quite a bit in every direction to start with, because we're going to build around the center of the vessel, as you know how we like to do. So let's just do that. Oops. Okay. Keep going that way. Yep. Good. And then we're going to go this way. And let's see, can we do one more? We sure can. That way over here. And yep, we're going to focus on this. We're going to move the lights around and whatnot as we go. But I want to make this thing quite a bit larger than our last vessel as well. So we're going to go as far as we can, maybe a couple of times. Looks like we can go out here. Wow, we can go a long way in creative. That looks pretty good. I want this thing to be absolutely enormous, and we're going to leave the front end as a cockpit area, so that doesn't need to be quite as long. But let's go all the way out here again to the very end of that, and let's just start here and go all the way back in this way. Okay, and I'm going to from time to time move this lighting around, but for now I think it's okay. I think you guys can see that. Hopefully that's true. It does look like it has a few more. Maybe it doesn't have any more lights on the sides than it does on the front. Let's just go ahead and hop in here and move this along a little ways, because I want to start maybe there-ish, and let's do our construction room. So here we're going to want a couple of advanced constructors. I like doing 2 of these because then you can queue up at multiple things at once. So let's just throw those. Actually, let's go ahead and extend this out a little bit. We're going to throw that out 4 by 4 and do another one, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Come around over here. The only thing that I really wish they would add to this, well, not the only thing, one thing I really wish they would add to this game is allowing you to use like a shared inventory for all these crafters. That would be outstanding if I could just have multiple things queued up at once, or even a super advanced constructor that could queue up multiple items. But you know, if we're careful about this and we distribute our items between the 2 of those things, it won't be a big deal. Now the other thing we're going to want is some cargo boxes, and those seem to have disappeared. What are they called now? Interesting. Oh, is that actually cargo boxes and they are functional? They are, and they look different. Oh man, that's cool. That's really cool. So these deco cargo boxes actually are cargo boxes now, right? Yeah, that is super awesome. Okay, that looks a lot better. So let's go ahead and get some more of those. What other options do we have? These little ones. That's really neat. I think I'm actually going to change this up a little bit. So let's do that and that. And apologies for building upside down here, but that's just going to be the way it works. Let's zap those. And then what I want to do is the narrower ones on top. Oh, that's cool. Okay, just like that. Oop, no, not you there. Get out of here, guy. There, perfect. Now, do these have the same amount of storage space? Oop, that's the advanced constructor. Let's get out of there. Looks like 5 rows there and 5 rows there. So, yep, they're the exact same space, but yeah, that's cool. We're going to have quite a bit of cargo storage that way. And this is only going to be for stuff that doesn't fit in one of the constructors. Yeah, I think that's going to work just fine. And what we're going to probably end up doing, let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to put signs over these with the LCD panels so we can indicate what goes in each cargo box. So we're going to have to come up like that. And let's just go in and fill this in too. And that way we'll have plenty of room to put in those LCD signs like that. Oh, that's nice and bright now, isn't it? Almost a little too bright. There we go. And we're gonna have to move our vessel, I think, to be over top of that. So let's go ahead and hop in here. There we go. So where are those screens? Screen, there we go. Can I make, I can make it smaller. 1 by 2, 1 by 1. No, 1 by 1, no frame seems like that'll be perfect. Or do I want it to have a frame? Maybe I want it to have a frame. Let's just go ahead and get a few more of these. 1 by 1 with a frame. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. So we're going to get those, and we're going to put these over here. And then, how do I do that? Do I just F? There it goes. Perfect. So we're going to say this one is weapons. And there we go. Nope. Did that not work? Active. Oh, probably because it needs power before that'll display. Yeah, let's stop on that for just a second because we're going to come back and organize that. But let's drop down underneath here first. And we're going to make our engine area. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to mount all that stuff upside down underneath here. So let's go back to capital vessels only. And we're going to get some fuel tanks. Let's get the tier 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. 5, 6 of those maybe. Yeah, we're going to want a bunch of fuel tanks. Generators, we're going to want 2 of the large tier 2s. And we're also going to want our warp drive and our warp tank, which we can only have 1 of in each vessel. Get rid of the cargo box for now. Warp drive. Sure, there we go. So the generators, I think, are going to be the biggest things. Woo, yep, there we go. We're going to make that go this way. And then what we want to do... Nope. There we go, like that. Perfect. And these things are too wide. So what we're going to do here is put them there. And if I can get another one in here, let's give me back it up a little bit. Maybe. I want to get it to this even. Oh, that's frustrating. Looks like I'm going to have to put 1 more block here just to place that. Boop. There we go. Like that. There it is. All right, let's go ahead and put 1 more block back here too to match that up. So there's our generators. That should be plenty of power for everything we need. But if it's not, we can always add more to it. And then these things are also an even number. So I think what we're going to do is just come down here and we're going to turn those a little bit. And we're going to mount them upside down in here, if I can. There we go. 1. And it's going to be hard to line this stuff up. There we go. 2. 1, a little bit further. A little bit further. 3. And then we're going to want this under here. 1, 2, and one more. 3. There it is. And then we're going to need our warp drive tank, or warp tank rather, somewhere we can get to it. Actually, we don't have to get to it. We can always use the interaction buttons for that. So let's go ahead and lay this thing down like that. Yep. And we're going to put that down here by the fuel tanks. That works just fine. Yeah, kind of centered in there. That'll work all right. And then we need our big warp ring somewhere as well. So let's go ahead and put that maybe right there under the generators, because it doesn't really matter which way that's facing. So all that power stuff is in the front. Then what we can do is we can come and fill up all of our fuel tanks with promethium, and then we're going to be able to run everything we want for a while. So there's that, and that. And let's get this one filled up. Then we can just put in all of our signs and everything else, and that should work just fine. Okay, so there's that stuff, and that stuff. There we go. Now if we power on our vessel, there we are. Great, so now what we can do is we can interact with this again. And let's make that bigger. That looks pretty good. So we're gonna have weapons in the top one, because we're not gonna have that many weapons. 2 weapons, well, let's do weapons. Yeah. Tools, ammo. Does that work? Why is it not showing? There it goes. Tools and ammo. I guess it doesn't really matter. We can do weapons and tools in the top. So we'll do that. Let's see if that actually works. There it goes. Weapons and tools in the top one, ammo in the lower one. And that's ammo for our individual weapons. That should be good. And then over here we want maybe like all of our crop stuff. So food, well, let's see, farming and food. And I think we had this at 22. That looks about right. So we have farming stuff in the top one, food underneath it. And then over here, we're going to have, let's see, medical, oxygen, since we need a bunch of that. And then over here, we're going to have fuel and miscellaneous. Miscellaneous, there we go. Can I get miscellaneous on here at size 22, or is it going to get cut off? It is. So let's just do fuel, misc. Oops, nope, not a comma. Period, please. Awesome. Now, one thing I wanted to check is, can we do anything else with this? I didn't think we can center it or anything. That's a little too bad, but that's all right. It's good enough. We can see what it's supposed to be. We've got all this stuff going. And of course, all of our ingots and that sort of stuff will be in these crafters, our constructors. And that's just going to help us keep everything organized. Fantastic. So the other thing we're probably going to need is a gravity generator. And I'm not sure if this thing's going to be big enough that we're going to need 2 of them, but let's find out. If we put one, I gotta put it facing the right direction, but I think what I want to do is drop it down under here. How tall is this thing? Looks like it's 3 blocks tall, 2 by 3. So if I come down here and I go down 1, nope, 1 more there, and then this way, and then this way. Yeah, I think that'll work. Now it's going to be a little off-centered because it's only 2 wide and this whole thing is 3 long, but that should still fit. Yep. Okay, so if I turn off my jetpack now, oops, no, not that. Turn off the jetpack. That looks pretty good. We got gravity all the way out to here. And if we run along this way, if there's any place where we stop moving, then we don't have enough coverage from the generator to get all the way out there. Whoop, right there at the end. Oops. It's kind of funny, we ran off this end of it. I think right before the end of this, we're going to run out of space. Let's turn that off again and go a little slower. Yep, right there. So I think it was these last 2. I'd really like to do this with just 1 gravity generator, but we'll see if we can. Can I get to the last block? Nope, the last block's also going to be a problem. Okay, so that's as far as we can go with one gravity generator in each direction. If I moved it more towards the center, I could probably cover it more. But what that means is we can also go back probably that same direction, because I'm guessing this is a radius. So that's not too bad. If we really wanted to, we can build another one, but I think we're going to be okay with that. So that's some basic stuff. Now we're also going to need an RCS. And let's do a tier 2 RCS. And I don't know how many of these we're going to need. We're going to start with just one of them, because that's going to help us figure out, you know, when we get down in here, we can build another one, and we'll be able to make sure we can turn later. I'm not going to do thrusters just yet, because I think that would be premature. I want to make sure I know what the inside of this is going to look like. And I think what we probably want to do is come out from a central area a little bit and have like a couple of wings that come off the side. Not really wings in terms of like flying wings, but wings like a building's wings. Let's come out that way. How many blocks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, perfect. And let's come out 11 more on this side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And let's just double check. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, there we go. So we'll be able to put in some other areas out here. And I think what we'll probably do is put in like living quarters out this direction. So we can have some bunk beds and things and staterooms and whatnot. Let's see, we'll keep doing that. We'll come out. That looks like 5 back, yeah. So we'll do the same thing over here. Oops, missed one. We'll do that when we get to the end again. There you go. And this guy. Okay, and then that looks pretty decent. I think what we want to do is have... Ooh, you know, we could do a big ring around the outside. That might look really neat. Let's see if we can come out a little bit further then, because that ring's going to have to be pretty huge. It's going to have to come out 6 blocks, I think. Let's go out 6 blocks on the other side, and then we'll make sure that we can still use it. I'm pretty sure we can, because I don't think we're that far out. We're definitely not. So our gravity generator should cover all this as well. 5, 6. And then the trick is going to be making sure we go with the same numbers. That should be 17, 18. So if we come up here, 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should be the same distance vertically as that is horizontally, if that makes any sense. The trick is, can we connect this as a big ring, or are we going to have to do other kind of contours to do that? There's not really a way to do, because if I do these are 45 degrees. These are going to turn around. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I do this, it's going to turn in 2 blocks. I really need it to go all the way out there. So I don't think it's going to actually be able to be a ring. It's going to have to be some squares and some slopes to make that work. There's no way to do kind of an arbitrary curve, which is what we would need for that. Because each piece of this really only needs to curve 1/18 of a 90-degree arc. So yeah, we're not going to get that exact math. In fact, let's do that a little bit differently. Let's take, shift right click does upgrades with the multi-tool and does not delete. That's really bad. All right. I'm gonna zap these things out of the way again. Okay. I think what we're going to do is actually just put up some big deflector wings here instead. We'll see what that looks like when we get a little further along. What else do we need here? Let's go back and look at our capital vessel and see what we can get. So we're going to need a cockpit for sure. I'm not going to do that until towards the end. We need some ammo and turrets. Not going to do that until near the end as well. O2 stations. Let's put a bunch of those around. And we're also going to do some medical stations. So let's go ahead and get those as well. Medical. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want these scattered around so that they're easier to get to. Probably want those wherever we've got our docking hatches though. So actually I'm probably going to hold off on that as well for now. Let's see. Thrusters I don't want to do yet. Elevator blocks I'm not going to do until we have more of this shaped out. We're going to need some growth areas and some places for fridges and crops and that sort of thing, because this is also going to be what we use to go between planets. Ammo boxes, we know. Food processor, yeah, we got that. I think that's really the greenhouse is probably the next thing we need to do. So we're going to need some growing lights and some growing plots. And that can be at the back of the vessel, because we're not going to need to get there very often. And let's go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we can come all the way across here, 2 more. That'll work. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. So we'll just mirror it over to here, and then here, and then here. And let's go ahead and quickly pop up to our lighting vessel and move that over so we can see the greenhouse area a little bit better. So we're just gonna, not that button. Let's try it this way. Bring you over here. There we go. Oh, too far. Momentum. There we go. Fly back down here. And I like doing the scaffolding with the truss blocks, I think they're called. So let's just grab some of those. I think this looks really nice, personally. Let's see. Where do we want to bring that in from? We're going to have to extend this. Oh, oops. Still got the rounded corner selected. Let's do blocks over here. But you know what we could play with this time that we haven't done before is those pipe, the cylinder things. That might be interesting to do. I always use the truss blocks, but let's see if we could do something different and be happy with that. Let's see. Bring this around, and we're going to bring this guy out a little bit. Oops. There we go. These blocks, these cylinders, and then the curved cylinders. Oh, although putting lights on that's going to be tough. It might work if we use these rounded 4-way connectors for it, though. Let's try that. So we're going to have this thin cylinder come up, maybe 2 blocks, and then we're going to have it turn and come across this way. Back to the thin cylinders. Let's go ahead and do the other side as well. And the curved one. And back to the cylinders. Want it to go that way. Yep. I'm going to bring that all the way across here. Oop, too far. And then what I want to do is I want to replace that, not that, with round 4-way connectors. Oh, those are for huge cylinders. Interesting. That might not look good. So let's take that one out, and then, well, I can't really do that. If I take it out now, it'll break, won't it? You know, that might be okay, actually. Let's take that out and put another one in. We're going to take that out. Is that right? 1, 2, yeah, that one, and then we need one over this. And put another one in. That looks a little strange, though. Do we have the bigger cylinders? And the bigger cylinder joins. So we've got this, but we don't have any of these as big ones. I'm not sure I like that. In fact, I'm fairly sure I don't like that. What about these instead? So we would need to turn, it that way. And then that's going to have a light underneath it. Yeah, that should work. That should work just fine. Let's do that. And that. And then what about the lights? So we need, oops, we already have the grow lights. I like it. I think that's definitely a new look. It's not a style I normally use, but I think it's going to work just fine. So now we got to replicate that on this side. So let's see. That way, 1, 2, and then over here, 1, 2. I'm kind of curious what this is going to look like when we start texturing it, because it might have some cool options for textures on these cylinders. And then we're going to need a lot of these. We're going to go across again, and I think it's easier to do that and then break out the ones we don't need. Do that way. Okay, so 1, there, go away 2, zap that, there, go away 2, zap that, there, and then we just need to get the grow lights on the bottom. So it's much faster when you know what you're going to end up with. I like that a lot. I think that's going to be cool. It almost kind of looks like you'd have some sprinklers or something. In fact, no, I don't want to do that. I was thinking about putting some more in here of these like connecting pieces and texturing the bottom to look like a sprinkler system. I wonder if that would work. If these were a little bit further spread apart, that might look okay. Let's see what that would look like real quick. I don't want to play with the texture tool a lot, but let's see if we get this and we do the grate. You know, I kind of like that. I think we're going to have to do it. So zap that, put one of those guys in there, and zap the bottom of him. Yep, we're going to have to do it. That's just too cool to pass up. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to zap that guy, put that one in. We're going to zap that guy and put that one in. We're going to come down to the bottom, and we're going to zap that texture on the bottom of both of these. There we go. That's going to look nice. I'm almost tempted to do one more here and put regular lights in, but this is already kind of strange that it's got lighting and sprinkler systems in one pipe, so I don't want to go too crazy with that. I think this is going to be neat, though. I haven't done anything like that before. I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, so let's get rid of a few of these things. We don't need the truss blocks. We don't need the growing plots. We don't need the grow lights. What we do need, though, is a fridge tier 2. We're going to need a couple of those, and we're going to need a food processor, and we're going to need at least one of those, but let's go ahead and get 2 and see what we can do with that. I think we're going to need to bring this whole section back a little bit, and we'll make sure that we can still use our gravity generator on that before we go any further. So let's pop in here, turn off our jetpack. Can we walk all the way to the edge, or do we start to float off? We can walk all the way to the edge. That's what I thought, because the gravity generator is further back from center on that. All right, so let's bring this back a little bit more, like that on either side. And I think what we want to do is put one of these kind of in the center. Which way would be the front? I think that way, because it's got the little console on it. Then we're going to do a fridge on either side of that, and that's going to be our food processing area. Whoop, hey, heads up. Does it need to go back that far? I don't think it does. I think we can bring this a lot closer. We do the same thing, but bring it up to right. Do we want it right there? Let's go back one more. And then we want the fridges again. So let's zap these things out of the way. And let's get the fridges. That's pretty good. Then we can zap this stuff out. There we are. So there's our greenhouse. There's our constructing room. I think that's all the stuff we need to make this thing functional, other than some docking areas, which we're going to get to in a minute. I want to do... I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I want to have a big docking area towards the front, but I want it to be like a sideways hangar. Ooh, no, I don't. I changed my mind already. I want to have a big hangar on the bottom, and that's going to be tough to do, because one of the things we haven't done here with all these fuel tanks is left ourselves any room for an elevator to go vertically up and down in this. So maybe we'll have to do the hangar on the top. You know, I almost kind of want to do the hangars on the sides here. I could do that and do the bedrooms over the hangars. We do need some space to put some small vessels in. I'm not sure which way I want to go with that. I think, though, this is probably as far as we're going to go in this episode. We're running out of time, but I'm pretty happy with the way this is turning out. It'll give me a little bit of time to think about where I want to go next time, and I think we're going to have to do the hangars and the bedrooms next. All right, well, thank you guys very much. If you like this episode, please be sure to hit that like button. If you really liked it, then make sure to subscribe. And as always, I've been Brickwaffle. Thank you for watching.